Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 613. If you're writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing a book but you need some help getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, especially social media, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who barely sees themselves as a writer into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. Life is habit, or rather, life is a succession of habits. Samuel Beckett. So very true. And today's show topic is how to stay accountable to your habits when no one is watching. And as I mentioned in yesterday's show, I preach about that which I need to be reminded of constantly, in case you think I'm just preaching for the sake of preaching. No, I'm reminding myself of really important stuff too. That's one of the purposes of this show. I'm in it with all of you. So as proof of that, something I continue to struggle with, I will share with you here today, is exercising on my own, meaning outside of a scheduled class or a scheduled session with a personal trainer. Without going too far down that rabbit hole, I'll let you know it is something that I'm working on, but I'm sharing this to let you know that whatever habit or habits you might be struggling with doing on your own, writing or otherwise, you are not alone. We are all on the habits struggle bus together. My friend Lexis from my circus school, she's big on the struggle bus wording when we're having challenges doing all the circus exercise things, the struggle bus. So anyway, we're all on the habit struggle bus together. Here are some ways, here's some help to help you. Yes, is it Monday? No, it's Tuesday. Here's some help so you can stay accountable to your writing habits. Oh, so many words. Number 1, set alarms on your phone like you would an actual appointment. This will help you train your brain to think of writing as required, not optional. And the important part here is it'll use the same auditory cue as actual required things in your life. So like for me, if I'm setting a alarm for like a business phone call or an appointment or, something where, money is on the line or reputation or, I said I was going to do something. So it's that same auditory cue. So if I set that alarm for writing time, my brain says this is required. The brain is a really funny thing, but it can be programmed if we work hard enough at it. Tip number 2. Just because you're technically going it alone as a writer doesn't mean you're alone. Remember to rely on the support of an accountability buddy or an entire community of accountability buddies, like an online group, like my Inc. Authors group on Facebook that I always talk about. Just want to make sure you're all aware of it. We are all struggling with our daily writing habits. Trust me, no matter how experienced someone is as an author, we're all struggling with setting and then maintaining, especially over the long term, our daily writing habits. So let's reach out to each other. Let's struggle together. Let's get on the struggle bus together, right? And instead of struggling, maybe we can succeed together. And tip number 3, and this is another thing I mentioned yesterday, was how much joy I find in checking things off a to-do list. There's something really satisfying about that. And one of the ways I do that for my habits is through an app on my phone called the Repeat Habit Tracker. And last I checked, I think my iPhone buddies were telling me it wasn't there yet, but you might check for it. I know it's definitely on Android, but it's called Repeat Habit Tracker. And of course, there's a million other habit apps. But I have that on my phone. It's so easy because we have our phones with us pretty much all the time. So what I've done is I've input all the things into the app that I aim to do regularly, from creating author content to exercise to meditating to even like taking my vitamins, anything that I aim to do on a regular basis. And of course, you can put book writing in there. And don't forget any other habits that support your book writing habit. Perhaps going for a walk or other exercise or meditation, whatever helps you get in the right headspace to write, those are habits. And make sure you put them in the app as well. An app is a fun and easy way to keep track of my habits and make sure none of them actually accidentally slide off the radar. Tip number 4. Find your trigger, like in a good way though. Is there a positive emotion that you find yourself feeling when you are successful in following through with your habits? In other words, what emotions or feelings are most likely to make you want to do something versus feeling like you have to do it. Whether it's, diet, exercise, writing, what are the positive emotions that make you feel like you want to do something, that you're excited about it? For me, my trigger is fun. Yes, in many ways, I'm just a child. I need entertainment and fascination in my habits for them to stick. I need to find the fun. And once I realized this, and, I finally realized why all those gym memberships I had were collecting cobwebs and my home workout videos were abandoned on a shelf after a few months, I literally had to join the circus to get in shape. I needed that level of fun. But hey, at least I realized that. The key is to find what emotion or feeling or core value, whatever it is about you, that works for you, and find a way to attach that to the habits that you want to stick. And finally, number 5, speaking of attaching, attach your habits to something bigger like a declaration, which simply put is a clear, measurable, and public announcement of a goal. The way this might look for writing is maybe announcing publicly to your friends or your social media network that you plan to write and finish a book by this time next year. Similar to what I know many authors do who participate in NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month. Every November, they declare it publicly, and that way there's accountability. So then you can ask your friends to help hold you accountable to this goal in some way, shape, or form. A declaration is a strong and intentional way of putting a stake in the ground as to what you want to achieve, and therefore holding yourself accountable to the daily habits you will need to set to achieve that goal. Oh, and by the way, I learned basically everything I know about declarations from my amazing client and mentor, Russell Redenbaugh. I will drop a link in the show notes to his book, Shift the Narrative, where you can learn more about declarations, including the ones that he set. The declarations he set, it's going to blow your mind. They effectively shifted the narrative of his entire life from trauma to triumph. So I will drop that link to his book in the show notes. And I hope these tips help today in terms of helping you stay accountable to your writing habits when nobody's looking. Lots of links in the show notes, as always, including to Inc. Authors, my Facebook group where you can find all sorts of accountability buddies and motivation and publishing resources. And speaking of publishing resources, I'm having one of those awesome publishing resources from Inc. Authors on the show tomorrow. My friend Jane Tabachnik, she is a PR expert, PR consultant. She's so many different things. And on tomorrow's episode, she's going to share her top author PR strategies for 2021. That already has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? So be sure and tune in tomorrow to get those top author PR strategies for 2021. And as always, thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.